All right, let's dive into the new science of sleep. We're going to go on a journey, starting with the tiny bits of genetic code that tell our bodies how much to sleep. And we'll see how just one bad night can actually affect all of us as a society.
You know, we all have that one friend, right? The one who swears they're totally fine, even thriving, on just 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. But is that for real? Is it even biologically possible? Or are they just fooling themselves?
Okay, so for the vast majority of us, the answer is a hard no. But here's where it gets really interesting. For a very small number of people, it's not a myth. It's basically a genetic superpower. So let's dig into the science that separates the rest of us from these genuinely short sleepers.
And we're going to start super small, on a microscopic level. We're talking about a single gene that can literally rewrite the rules of sleep for the very lucky few who have it.
And let's be absolutely clear about this. This is not something you can learn or train your body to do. The gene mutation for what scientists call natural short sleep is unbelievably rare. We're talking less than 1 person in every 4 million. So no, your boss who gets up at 4 a.m. probably doesn't have it.
And here's the real kicker. It's not just that they sleep less, it's that they don't suffer from it. These people aren't just, chugging coffee to power through the day. Their bodies are actually wired to get all the restorative benefits of a full night's sleep in way less time. They are just more efficient sleepers.
The perks that come with this are kind of mind-blowing. Scientists studied a father and son who both have this mutation in a gene called NPSR1. And get this, it doesn't just let them feel rested on less sleep. It seems to actively shield their brains from the memory problems that you or I would get. Even when researchers kept them awake, their bodies didn't feel the same urgent need to catch up on sleep later.
Okay, so that's the wild exception. But what about the rule? What about the other 3,999,999 of us? What is our brain actually doing for those 7 to 9 hours that's so important?
Well, this is a total game changer in how we think about sleep. It is not just your body powering down, it is an incredibly active state. Sleep is doing critical work, supporting basically every major system we have, from repairing our DNA all the way up to managing our mood and how we interact with people.
And one of the coolest things it does is this glymphatic system cleanse. Seriously, think of it like a power washer for your brain that only turns on when you're in that super deep, non-REM sleep. The space between your brain cells actually expands by about 60%, allowing this fluid to rush in and clear out all the metabolic junk that builds up during the day, including some toxic proteins that are linked to Alzheimer's. If you skimp on that deep sleep, you're literally letting the garbage pile up in your brain.
So, moving from the physical brain to our minds, what happens when that garbage doesn't get taken out? Well, the effects are immediate, because sleep doesn't just clean the brain, it emotionally recalibrates it. It's like essential overnight therapy every single night.
This image shows you exactly why you might feel so raw or short-tempered after a rough night. That part of the brain, the amygdala, that's your emotional gas pedal. When you're sleep-deprived, it becomes over 60% more reactive. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex, your brain's rational, logical brake pedal, goes offline. So you're left with an accelerator slammed to the floor and absolutely no brakes.
And here's what might surprise you about how that feels. Yeah, you get more anxious and irritable, sure. But what the data shows is that sleep loss hits our positive emotions even harder. It just tanks our feelings of happiness, our motivation, our optimism. So it's not just adding negative feelings, it's actively stealing the positive ones.
Now, this emotional chaos doesn't just stay with us. It doesn't stay in our heads. It actually ripples outward, and it changes in a fundamental way how we treat the people around us.
This is just a wild finding. Researchers looked at over 3 million charitable donations, and they found this incredibly clear pattern. In the days right after the clocks spring forward for daylight saving time, when millions of people lose just 1 single hour of sleep, donations drop significantly. Think about that for a second. 1 hour of lost sleep across a population makes us measurably less kind and less generous to each other.
And it looks like the reason for that is baked right into our brain's wiring. The parts of the brain highlighted here make up what's called the social cognition network. It's what we use to read social cues and empathize with other people. When you don't get enough sleep, that whole network just powers down. It literally makes us feel lonelier and makes us less willing to help others. We become more asocial versions of ourselves.
And finally, let's touch on that weird, altered state of consciousness we all visit every night, but we still understand so little about. The amazing, mysterious, and incredibly important world of dreaming.
You know, we used to think dreams were just these random, bizarre replays of our day, but the science shows something much, much smarter is going on. There's something called the dream lag effect. Memories from your day will pop up in your dreams that first night, but then they seem to fade, only to resurface about a week later. This suggests the dreams aren't just replaying stuff, they're actively integrating it, weaving new memories into the whole fabric of what you already know. It's like our brain's own creative workshop.
So look, if you take one thing away from all this, it should be that sleep is not lost time. It's not a waste, it's one of the most incredible things our biology does. It is a profoundly active and essential state that rebuilds us physically, recalibrates us emotionally, and even strengthens the bonds between us. Which really leaves us with a big question. If we keep treating sleep like the enemy, something to be conquered for the sake of productivity, what crucial parts of our own humanity are we losing?